Welcome, Jason. So Jason Gardner is an American photographer based in Paris and New York. His first monograph, A Flower in the Mouth, focusing on carnival in Pernambuco, Brazil, was published in 2013. And We, the Spirits, was selected as a top 50 portfolio in Photolucida Critical Mass in 2022 and has been exhibited in Paris, New York, New Orleans, Toronto, Geneva, Malmesbury, Sao Paulo, Belgrade, and San Francisco. Gardner's work has been published in Geo Magazine France, the New York Times, Rolling Stones, Le Parisien, and New York Magazine. So, thank you for being with us. So the book is called We, the Spirits, and it's published by GOST. And it's really the result of 15 years of obsession with a specific topic in 50 different countries. I don't know if you did it on purpose to have this double 15.
It just came out that way.
And the topic is carnival, which is a very specific, weird moment in our lives where we let go and become someone else, something else. And I was wondering why you were so fascinated by carnival, and after these many years working in the proximity of these people and looking for more quirky carnivals that are not the super famous ones that we all know, what would you say is the reason why people love it so much?
Okay, good questions. I started actually just wanting to do something about music, and that's why I went to Brazil first, because I thought, okay, Brazil, music. And then as I started going there, people said, you have to come back for Carnival, because that's when all the music happens. And, you know, the Carnival in Brazil is very deep, but most people know Rio, or maybe they know Bahia, but I chose Recife in the northeast of Brazil. And I went there 5 different times over 8 years. So I went deeper and deeper and deeper in one place. It was a very more photojournalistic thing. Then when I moved to Europe about 8 years ago, I thought, well, what's Carnival like here? And I started to delve into it. And in fact, I had done a little bit of that when I was still in the States, because the years I couldn't go to Brazil, I started going to New Orleans, Louisiana, Trinidad, Dominican Republic, other places like that. But I found that, the reason why I kept on, the question is like, why do you love it and why do they do it? Which is almost the same thing. It's this ancient ritual. Everyone thinks about Carnival as this party and drunken festival, and that's what it is in modern day in the most commercialized aspects of it. But a lot of the carnivals that I found were very traditional, very ritual, and very, I started to explore the deeper themes there, which are like renewal, rebirth, these kind of things of a good harvest between winter and spring, but also the kind of 2 different sides of the human condition, the light and dark, chaos and order, beauty and ugliness, kind of all these things that were happening. And then as I talked to the carnival participants, because not only did I take photos, but I did interviews and shot little videos, etc. They told me over and over, yes, we put on the costume and yes, we have fun, but it's a more important thing to us. One guy put on his mask and he told me when he was dressing, this is in Sardinia, he told me in Sardish, I had no idea what he was saying, I was just recording it and then I had it translated. And he said, when I put on this mask, I can never die. When I put on this mask, I connect between 10, 100, 1,000 generations before me. And that was an earlier shoot, and I thought, oh, so it's a serious thing. It's not just this fun thing. Another person told me, I don't care about Christmas, I don't care about New Year's. This festival is our way to mark the new year. We don't feel right without it. And so time and time again, although I photographed many, many carnivals over many years, many manifestations, I found there's so many different costumes and different things, but some of the themes are all the same. There's a lot of animals, right? There's a lot of crazy plumes and birds and chickens and all sorts of things, and sheep and fur. And some of it is they use the materials that's available, but some of it is they want to be kind of an homage to animals that are a part of their life, and it's a very rural experience. Many other things, but yeah.
But then there are also masks of things that not necessarily we like. Sometimes we dress up in something that actually we are mocking that.
Yeah, parody and satire and is a very important part of Carnival. It's a way in which, I mean, because Carnival also, it's a suspension of time, right? The rules don't apply. You can make fun of your neighbor. You use that time to kind of let off some steam and to maybe address some previous grievances of someone who you want to deal with that you didn't feel comfortable dealing with, like this. The mask is a powerful thing, right? It's an ancient thing from pre-Christian times. And when you put on the mask, and there's a reason why in the United States or everywhere, Halloween parties are the craziest, right? Because people lose their inhibitions when they put a mask on. And I chose the title We the Spirits because often, time and time again, they say, when I put on this mask, I put this costume on that's very traditional, I make an homage to these previous spirits, and I become this thing. I become a representation of that. Yeah.
And when you because I was imagining, I mean, this is a very kind of coherent narrative so I'm always imagining you taking those pictures, and out of curiosity, I wonder if you're also dressed up while you do that, or you.
Sometimes, I mean, there's some carnivals they don't let you photograph unless you are in costume, in the traditional costume, especially Cajun country, Louisiana, some places in Spain. Some places that you just have to be in France, actually. You have to be in costume to blend in. Otherwise, you're going to be automatically singled out and automatically, sort of not brought into the group. So, I mean, the larger question is access, right? How do you get these places and how do you get them to trust you? And in terms of a photographic process, all of these shots are, 99% of them are with a medium format Mamiya 6, which is a rangefinder, which, if you know that at all, it's a very manual focus. It's not snap, 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 snap. It's like, okay, wait 1 second, I have to focus. And so to some extent, I have to build some rapport with them to ask them for 30 seconds or 1 minute, because I don't do lights. I have it all ambient light. I don't have them dress up for me. I go into the festival. I never interrupt the ritual, but I want to find that liminal space, the intermediate time, usually before they go, when they're dressed, sometimes after, and I can say, hey, I'm doing this project. Would you mind taking this photo with me? And because it's a manual process, focus, it's a little bit performative. They are showing me something they want to, they're proud of.
But because you're not the first one to document or interact with this topic. I was wondering if you had any sort of like rules that you impose to yourself as to have it like the most candid possible, or you don't mind if it's really staged?
The rules are that I don't pre-scout the locations. I have a look, but I don't really know where I'm going to. It's really, my rule is that I want them, in French, dans son jus, like in the environment that they're doing this thing. And as I said, the other rules, I never stop the ritual. I never ask them to dress for me. And I rarely pose them. I have them I put them where I want, but I have them, and sometimes it's, you only have a wall, so that's what you have. Yeah.
And in terms of building the book, how did you select them? Did you work closely with an editor, the designer? How was the experience to work with GOST?
Yeah, it was a collaboration. I mean, I had my wide set of images that I wanted to put in there, but because, as you may know, as a photographer, you're so close to the images, they're quite helpful in giving their dispassionate view as to what was the strongest, not only by themselves, but in spreads, what worked with each other. And so that was a collaboration there. Some of the edits were painful, because they're ones that I loved, but they just didn't fit. And we didn't sequence the book geographically. We did it just by feel, by flow, with general themes. I mean, you put some bulls together, you put some animals together as a general idea, but it was very free form. And then we printed out, we did old school, we printed out in small pieces because they were in London, I'm based in Paris, put it on the floor and spent days shuffling it around.
Yeah, and you can tell because in a way it's kind of and any kind of like national boundaries are sort of like hidden.
I didn't want to do it geographically. That's too typographic. I wanted it just to be a flow of images. And there is text at the back of the book, but it's minimal text in the book. The text is both my first-party accounts of the carnival and then some of the interviews that I just mentioned with the people.
But then there is also a text by Giovanni Kesic.
Yeah. He's actually a carnival expert. He helped me a lot in telling me where the most traditional places were. So he gives the sort of macro view as to what carnival means historically, because I'm not a scholar on it. I'm just a photographer.
Are you continuing on this topic, or you think that this book is kind of like the cherry on the cake? And
well, no. I mean, I shot some work after the book was published, and that's exhibited here in Paris. And I continue to photograph ritual and culture. I probably will shift to another project, but I'll always love carnival and shoot it here and there, but not as intensely, I think. Yeah. Time to move on. 15 years. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
So if you have any question, of course, you're more than welcome to interact with people, either now after the talk or at the GOST booth, which is
K3.
K3.
It's just 2-minute walk that way.
2-minute walk.
I'll be there after signing, like directly after this, signing some books. And come find me after this if you like. But the last thing I wanted to say was that if this says you anything, that Carnival, which is known as this party, that's known in this sort of mainstream media as the very well-known, drunken fest on the streets, is a whole other world behind it, and it's really in these people's blood. A lot of people see, oh, beautiful costume, what is that? But then the next level is the significance, what's the meaning? And I just scratched on it today in 15 minutes, it feels like nothing. But often the meaning is these for good harvest or good luck or good fertility, both of the land or the humans. But then the third level is what does it mean to those people, like that specific person. And that's why I tried to include some interviews and first-person text. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Or I don't know.
Yeah, if there are any questions.
No questions? Wow, impressive.
People are shy. They prefer to have one-to-one conversation.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. The other small thing is that for the book, we made 3 different colors of cover: blue, red, and there's a purple as well. And the cover is a woodcut that I made inspired by a carnival character in Slovenia, and then we scanned it and put it into so just a little extra touch for the cover. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'm delighted to invite on stage Laia Abreu, who might not need a presentation, but I have, of course, to do it. She's a multidisciplinary artist focused on biopolitics and gender equality.